This is week 3 of the Maintain Don't Gain Holiday Challenge, and I'm Rhys, a personal trainer at the Steiner Branch YMCA. Our topic this week is realistic expectations. So, we are going to look at maintaining our weight. We're going to kind of talk about what your body weight on the scale, what that consists of, and the things that can affect it, like what you're eating now, how you're exercising. We'll talk about how much that weight on the scale can change and how quickly it can change, and if it does change, how to fix those changes. So, what makes up your body weight? If you step on a scale, the number that you see, your body weight is it's a measure of how much fat you have, how much muscle you have, and how much water you have. So lots of times when people just think of their body weight, they're only thinking about the fat part, because that's what most people want to focus on, not gaining or trying to lose. Our focus during the Maintain Don't Gain challenge is on maintaining our muscle tissue and not gaining fat tissue. Over the holidays, with the extra food that people tend to eat and decreasing how much exercise they have, that can be a little bit of a challenge. As our body weight changes over the holidays because of eating more and training less, our water weight can also change and make it seem like we're gaining fat or losing muscle when actually neither of those two things are happening. So, a better way to think about our body weight than just stepping on a scale and looking at what the number says. A lot of times people do this and, they haven't really weighed themselves before, and so they just randomly pick a day, pick a time, and start. And the number you see on the scale when you do that randomly isn't really a good representation of where your body is at. Muscle, fat, and water can all change a lot pretty frequently. So to get a better idea of the amount of fat and muscle, like what our body's actually made of, it works out a lot better if we average our body weight. So to do that, we want to weigh ourselves a couple of times a week, first thing in the morning, after going to the bathroom, before drinking or eating anything. Ideally, you would do this at least 3 times a week on non-consecutive days. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for example. We're going to take those 3 days, and however much you weigh, it'll probably be different each day. We're going to average them together, and that average number is a more accurate, realistic representation of what your real body weight is. Like I said, since our water weight and our muscle and fat, all of those can change. So taking an average kind of evens out those changes. When we're talking about maintaining our weight, that average is what we want to strive to maintain. So what are some things that can affect our weight? The 2 biggest ones are how you're eating and exercising now. So we know going into the holiday season, we're going to be eating a little bit differently than normal, and we'll probably be exercising a little bit less than normal. The more carbs you're eating at any time, the more water weight you will gain and lose throughout the day. So not going into whether or not carbs are good or bad or how you should eat, but if you are not eating a lot of carbs right now, you're not going to hold a lot of water weight, and your weight right now will probably be more stable. If you eat a lot of carbs right now, your weight will fluctuate a lot more throughout the day. Exercising with a really high heart rate, so most of our Group X classes, things that make you sweat a lot, will also cause your weight to change because those things will affect your water weight. heavy weightlifting can also cause water retention. So if you've ever done any really heavy, hard weightlifting workouts and you're sore the next day and your muscles still feel kind of puffy and swollen, those muscles will retain water as they heal. So when we look at going into the holiday season, we know that we're more likely to eat more carbs, mashed potatoes, pie, cookies, all kinds of great foods we're going to eat around Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we know we're going to eat more carbs. If you're not eating a lot of carbs right now, you can expect when you start that you're going to gain a little bit of water weight. When you stop working out as much, you're not sweating, and so you're not losing as much water weight as you normally did. So these are some examples of how changing your eating and exercising habits from your normal right now to something different over the holidays can affect your water weight. We don't want to be afraid of water weight, though. Lots of people see or hear that they're going to retain water and they want to find out how to stop that or how to undo it. And it's really not a problem. It's not something you need to try and stop or really concern yourself with. Don't dehydrate yourself or try to drink less water if you think you're retaining water. You actually should drink plenty of water. Roughly take your body weight, divide it by 2, and that's how many ounces of water per day you should be drinking. So if you weigh 200 pounds, divide that by 2, that's 100. You should aim for 100 ounces of water per day. Drinking plenty of water will help your body regulate water very well. Your body does this on its own really, really well, and your kidneys, you don't need detox teas or anything. Your kidneys work great to regulate your body water. Reducing the amount of carbs you eat can help your body reduce the amount of water as well. When we eat carbs, we store them for energy, and each gram of carbs that your body stores will also hold 3 grams of water with it. So when we start eating more carbs, we have a bunch of mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and pie and biscuits and all kinds of amazing Thanksgiving foods. We don't just have the extra weight of those carbs, but we're going to hold a bunch of extra water with it. We want to keep drinking water to keep our kidneys and our digestive system working, and we want to just start reducing our carbs after that Thanksgiving meal, and we'll continue to get rid of more water. You'll go to the bathroom a lot, and all of the water that was stored with those carbs, you will urinate out. So how much can your weight change and how quickly? So your muscle and fat tissue don't change very quickly. If you think about it, you're probably not going to gain 5 pounds of muscle in one day, and you're not going to gain 5 pounds of fat in one day either. A lot of times when the scale changes, people think, they gained a pound of fat or 5 pounds of fat or whatever overnight since the scale went up, but they're just focused and worried about fat. If you don't think you could have gained the same amount of muscle in the same period of time, then you're not gaining fat faster. So muscle and fat realistically can gain or decrease about 1% of your total body weight per week. So if you're 150 pounds, 1% of that is 1.5 pounds. So for a 150 pound person, you can gain or lose about 1.5 pounds of fat or muscle in a week, a whole week, not overnight, not one day, in a week. So if the scale changes more than that, that is water that you're retaining or extra food. Food takes time to digest, so when you all of a sudden eat way bigger meals than normal, like Thanksgiving, you will have a bunch of extra food sitting in your digestive tract just waiting to be broken down. And so if you ate 5 pounds of food at dinner on Thanksgiving, you'll have 5 extra pounds of food sitting in your stomach, and you'll weigh more just because of that food. Your water weight throughout the day can fluctuate easily between 3 and 10 pounds. Bigger people gain and lose more water. So a 200-pound person, probably closer to that 10-pound range for water weight fluctuations, and a 100-pound person will probably be closer to the 3-pound end of that range. And again, a lot of this varies person to person. People who eat more carbs, their water weight will fluctuate more. People who eat less carbs, it'll be a little bit more stable. But like I said, your kidneys regulate your water very, very well. Your water retention makes a big part of your blood volume and your blood pressure. And so all of that is regulated really tightly by your body. It's not something you really need to worry about. No matter how many carbs you eat, your water weight will stabilize within 3 to 5 days of returning to your normal eating habits. So, we talked about muscle and fat changing pretty slowly. An easy way to kind of wrap your mind around it and build a little bit of confidence when you see the scale change and realize that you're not actually gaining fat is thinking that fat and muscle are tissues. Almost like an organ. Your body has to build and grow more muscle and fat tissue. You don't just automatically store more fat. It's a process. It takes a lot of energy for your body to store excess fat. A pound of fat takes about 3,500 calories to build, and muscle probably takes even more. So if you normally eat 2,000 calories to maintain your body weight, that means you're not building any new muscle or any new fat, you'd have to eat an extra 3,500 calories on top of that to potentially gain 1 pound of fat. That's 5,500 total calories to potentially gain 1 pound of fat in a single day. So if the scale goes up 3 pounds overnight, for all of that 3 pounds to be fat, you'd have to eat an extra 10,500 calories, or 12,500 total, because remember, you've got 2,000 calories just to maintain and not build any more muscle or fat. So I promise you, the scale, if it went up 3 pounds overnight, you did not eat 12,500 calories. That 3-pound difference on the scale is not all fat. It's mostly water. So remind yourself of this when you see the number on the scale change. Think, did I realistically eat 10,000 calories or more? The answer is almost certainly no, and you know that scale change is not fat that you gained, it's mostly water or food. So, what do you do when you see the number on the scale change and you think you've gained weight? Like I said, if it changes a lot in a single day, overnight, that weight gain is water and food. It's not fat. So step 1, don't panic. Lots of people step on the scale, they see how much weight they have gained, and they freak out. We don't want to do that. We want to enjoy the holidays. That's what they're for. Enjoy these special meals with your family and your loved ones and whoever you're spending time with. We want to continue exercising and eating normally outside of those special meals, Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner. We don't need to make every meal an excuse to go crazy. So enjoy Thanksgiving dinner, enjoy Christmas dinner. Probably don't have Thanksgiving dinner every single day for the next week. We don't need to be eating that much of our leftovers and making every day a feast. We should try to get back to relatively normal. When we're eating a ton of pie and cookies and mashed potatoes and everything for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, that's where we can run into potential actual fat gain. So step 4, Wait 3 to 5 days and your weight will go down. So you have Thanksgiving dinner, you get up the next morning, you see you're 8 pounds heavier than you were the day before. Go back to normal, exercise when you can, eat like you normally do, and just wait. After 3 days, if your weight is still a little bit higher, then decrease your carbs just a little bit. Okay, you don't have to completely cut them out, but just go back to normal. Don't eat quite so many leftovers, and within a week, your weight should be completely back down. Your body will get rid of the extra water that you're holding. So, in summary, we want to maintain our weight, maintain our muscle and our fat, not gain any more. How do we do that? We want to get a good idea of what our actual weight is, and to do that we need to weigh ourselves multiple times a week to average out our water changes. We should expect realistically 3 to 10 pounds of fluctuations throughout the day and from one day to the next. So our maintenance, the average that we get one week compared to the average the next week, should be pretty solid and not vary a ton. But if we compare one day to the next, we should expect 3 to 10 pounds of changes from one day to another day. That's totally normal. The averages should even things out, and the averages should be closer to the same each week. We want to keep exercising and eating as close to normal as possible outside of our special occasion meals like Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas dinner and any other, holiday parties, birthdays, etc. We don't want to restrict ourselves on those special meals, but we don't want to make every single meal a special meal. When we do have those special occasion meals, we want to completely indulge ourselves and enjoy them to the fullest. Trying to restrain ourselves and say, I'm only going to eat a little bit on Thanksgiving because I'm scared of gaining fat is a bad idea. Not only is it going to distract you from the holidays and the important things that we're actually focusing on, like spending time with our loved ones, but having just a little bit of tasty food and trying to restrain yourself from having too much can actually lead to more cravings. So enjoy Thanksgiving dinner, go all out, have that, and then get back to your normal habits the next day. When we see that our weight goes up on the scale, we're not going to panic, we're not going to starve ourselves, we're going to wait 3 to 5 days, and that water weight should drop and we should be back to normal. If our weight is still slightly higher after 3 to 5 days, we're going to reduce our carbs a little bit and watch and wait again and be patient, and our weight should go back down. I hope this information helps you maintain and don't gain this holiday season. Please remember to check out our Facebook page each week for tips, recipes, and workouts to help you stay on track. Thanks.